All right, we're going to add our next to middle binding to the quilt. You're going to cut a piece 2 inches and fold it in half. That's your front, and a 1.5 inch piece for the back. Okay, I have the upper left piece of the Tailgate FlipNSew, and I am working on the middle section where I'm going to put the two together. So you can see that my binding strip that is the one piece is on the back. So I'm putting that on the back of the quilt, right sides together, and I'm putting the piece that I folded with the raw edge next to the quilt, and I'm actually leaving extra at the beginning and the end also, as you'll see, and I'm going to pin that down, and I'm going to take that and pin that down and pin it in a few places so that it holds together for me, and then I'm going to go sew 1/4 inch all the way down this side, and I'm going to sew on the front side of the quilt where I have the folded binding strip. So I'm going to go do that next and then show you how that looks after that's sewn together. Okay, now it's sewn, and I'm going to correct myself because last time I said 1/4 inch. I'm actually doing 3/8 inch because it is a flip and sew. We know that we have the zigzag stitches that we have to incorporate into our stitching. So this is 3/8 of an inch, which is almost a 1/2 inch, and you can see it sewn all the way down. And so now what I want to do is I want to fold this up, the back binding, and then I want to fold this over, and this is my middle binding. And I'm going to do that so it's going to look like this. I am going to go to the ironing board and I am going to iron this down so it's all nice and flat. I want it nice and flat. And then I'm going to bring in my second piece and we're going to pin the second piece. Okay, so after I have sewn the first piece of binding on, it's here on the front side like this. Now we need to put on the other piece of the quilt, which is the right side, upper right of the flip and sew. So it needs to go with the right sides together of the back, so the right sides go together, and then you line it up, and you line it up with the quilt right at the ends, and then each intersection where the quilt meets on the front and the back, you'll want to put a pin to make sure that it stays lined up with each section. And you come to the end, and it should meet at the end. You are going to take a 3/8 inch seam again and go right down the other side of the binding strip, and you'll just be sewing on the back binding. So once you get all of that done, then you're going to unpin it, of course. And I usually take it to the ironing board and iron it. And when I get it ironed, these two pieces here should fit together nicely and nest together. And this piece here, the piece that's folded and has the finished edge to it, should fold right over into that seam. So then when it folds over into that seam, then all you need to do is take I changed the thread to actually blue to match this, and then also black thread on the bobbin to match the underneath part. And so you're just going to stitch right down the front of this, right next to it. You can put a decorative stitch, which I do sometimes, but you will see on this one that I just finished, I used a regular stitch with blue thread right down the center, and then it shows on the back just like that, and I put the two pieces together. So this is the bottom two pieces, this is the upper two pieces. So now we have 4 pieces that are taken care of, 2 upper, 2 lower, and now we need to go in and do the same technique. Of course, you're going to trim these ends off, right? And we're going to use the same technique to take the upper and the lower and put them together to make the 4 pieces. I just want to mention, because I forgot to mention it at the beginning of the video, that I did do my stitching and my quilting stitches before I started this process, so that was done before I began. And then this stitch down here will hold the middle, and you'll get all four together, and that is the end of the Flip and Sew tailgate quilt. And we did not get to continue this in class, so I hope that this video is helpful for you on how to finish your quilt. I have had fun, and I hope you did too. Have fun with your quilting. Bye-bye.